Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Regista Football Podcast. This is another Pub Diaries episode, and today, where are we at, Ben?
Today we're here at the Bluefoot. We frequent here often to watch matches together, and we're watching a match live. We're watching City Spurs, well, I should say Spurs City. We just watched Solanke pull a goal through, and it's 1-2. So you may hear some reactions throughout this match as we are doing our reviews and also live.
As at the very least, the listeners get a somewhat authentic experience. I'm not sure how loud it's going to pick up on the mics, but if we speak a bit louder, maybe we can get around it. But yeah, we're currently watching Spurs versus Man City. It's 1-2, as Ben said. Kind of anything to play for, really, at this stage. I think they just needed to get a goal back, and they got that. Bluefoot, what was it? Bluefoot Bar? That's what it's called.
Bluefoot Bar, yeah.
Bluefoot Bar in San Diego, kind of closer to South Park, in the middle of like North Park and South Park. This is actually voted one of the best places to watch football in the whole of the United States. I think it made like top 20 football bars.
Top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10 football bars.
So yeah, this is a good spot. Really good beer selection on tap, if people care about that. And a bunch of like different types of football fans. The main bartender is a really big Spurs fan. So take that for what you will. Let's get into it then. So our order of operations. Liverpool have been linked with a player, so we're going to go over that. We're going to then go into some Premier League reviews. We're going to go to Leeds versus Arsenal and Liverpool versus Newcastle. We'll also touch on what we're seeing a little bit from the game we're actually watching, which is City Spurs. I guess we'll get into Geertruida links. Have you seen him play, Ben?
I have not seen him play.
Okay, so I'll give you a bit of a rundown. He played for Arne Slot at Feyenoord. He is Dutch, I believe. He then went to RB Leipzig from Feyenoord and then is currently on loan at Sunderland. He's a very versatile player. He basically can play anywhere along the back line, so right back, left back, and centre back. Personally, I wouldn't love to see him at centre back. I think he's a bit small. He's only 6 foot. I say only 6 foot, but you know what I mean. Like Premier League centre backs typically aren't 6 foot. I would say, like his overall player profile he is super versatile. Like I said, he can play right back and left back. He can play like a bomb-on winger, or he can play an inverted role, which I think is probably his best type of position, best play approach. He's really good on the inside, connect and play on the inside. A very good passing range and different like pass varieties. He can pass long really well. He can ping pass really well. He'd be a really good addition to Liverpool, I think.
I'm assuming he's going to play that right back position, right?
Yeah.
For coverage.
I think they kind of have to. They had to do that, but I think the fact that he's so versatile means that they're not just signing for the short term, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think overall that works really well for Liverpool. I would say though, like the issue that does come along with that is they are going to have to get rid of a non-homegrown player. We've seen interest, obviously, for Andy Robertson. I really don't want to see Robertson go. I don't see there being an advantage at all to letting Andy Robertson go for Liverpool. There's also Federico Chiesa, who's had some interest from Italy. Those links have kind of died. We're not hearing anything about that anymore. I really hope it doesn't mean it's the end of Andy Robertson. But I think from Liverpool's perspective, they really need some just depth along the back line. We currently don't have any.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of disappointing to see Robertson go. He's been so crucial to all Liverpool have done.
Yeah.
But I totally get it. You kind of have to move your team on. You need to get some younger talent in. You need to also just cover spots.
Yeah, and we really don't have depth there at the moment. He'll definitely be a depth piece for us. There have been times in his career where he's really looked like pushing on to the next step, and I think with Liverpool he'll do that. He'll get some opportunities because of how threadbare we are at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how that goes. I think you'll see a bit more of that materialize over the next couple of days. As of recording, it's 9:48 a.m., local time in California. The actual window closes in about 24 hours, maybe a bit longer than that. So Liverpool have to get some work done before that, but hopefully that materializes. Let's get on to kind of talking about the games then. So this Man City Spurs game, we'll touch on it briefly. The game obviously isn't finished yet. It's currently 2-1. I think City, they kind of dominated that first half, Ben.
Yeah.
Spurs, at the moment, just don't look like they have options to really threaten teams, especially on the counter. We saw several situations where, Xavi Simons needs people to play off of, and he just doesn't really have it.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of alone out there on the left. I think Udogie does step up, but there's been several times when Simons is just like kind of hanging out, waiting for something. But at the same time, there's opportunities where he's just not pulling the trigger. There's definitely one clear opportunity earlier in the first half when he could have taken a shot, but he was just, I don't know, finding the right shot rather than just going for it. They were down 2-0 at that point, and you kind of get what you need to get and what you can get in the moment. But yeah, it looks like in the second half at least, they came out a lot more aggressive. They're creating a bit more chaos. Got a goal from it. My prediction for this game was 3-1. It's still 3-1. I honestly think the next goal is going to be City, and that's how the game's going to end.
If they're going to do anything, I think they have to embrace chaos. Like, play deep, hit them on the counter. We've seen several situations throughout this game already where they can trouble them on the counter. They just need a bit more quality in the final third, I think. They have like a bunch of pretty talented ball carriers, Spurs, and I think a lot of that just comes to making the right choices at the right moments. Cherky in the first half scored an absolutely brilliant goal. Kind of takes it on the right side of the box, very like similar to the Anthony Gordon goal from yesterday. Kind of hits it across himself right into the only place he could put it. Phenomenal goal. And then Semenyo gets a goal kind of from a like a high turnover. The ball gets played into him from Bernardo, and he's so two-footed. It doesn't matter what angle he takes the ball on. He can get a shot on target. I'm really curious to see how this game ends up, and we'll report on it briefly as the episode passes. But let's get into Arsenal Leeds, shall we? Then?
Yeah, definitely. Arsenal Leeds happened yesterday. We'll start with the starting lineup. Bukayo Saka was actually starting at his right wing as a surprise. That's a joke, but he pulled up with an injury in warm up. I believe it was left hip. So I actually thought that they were going to bring in someone else, but Madueke came in. I thought honestly that they'd probably bring in Eza and then put Odegaard in as well, but Madueke came in. Another surprise, as I kind of alluded to, we had Havertz come in and replaced Odegaard, which I think kind of works with how Odegaard has been doing. And also, Havertz had a really great midweek. He's had a pretty decent partnership with Gyökeres as well, even in that one match. He plays, when Arsenal were in the attacking phase of the game, they were really playing a 4-4-2 with a kind of partnership between Gyökeres and Havertz midweek against Kairat, and I think that continued here. So, apart from that, there weren't any other major surprises in the lineup. Back was Nkapie, Gabriel Saliba, Timber, Zubimendi, Rice in the midfield, and then Trossard on the left. And I mentioned Gyökeres and Havertz also started. The way that Leeds set up was typical. They kind of had a five-man back. Two in the center, Aaron on the left, Josh on the right, and of course, Dominic Calvert-Lewin starting up top. So not a lot of surprises overall for them. Was there anything that surprised you in the setup at all?
No, not really. I expected Leeds to play like a back five out of possession, and that's kind of what they were doing. Like a 5-4-1 type of shape. I think really the surprising thing is how much like Arsenal conceded possession throughout the game. I think Leeds had way more possession than I expected them to.
Yeah, absolutely.
But overall, like I think Arsenal, kind of as we said in the past, they just do a really good job at keeping teams at arm's length. And they do that really consistently throughout the game. But I'd say nothing really in terms of kind of like lineup that surprises me, really aside from that Odegaard chain.
What's that?
Commentators fucking hate us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The shit they're talking about the crowd, but
glazing them constantly, and shitting on you. Yeah,
it's really bad.
It is.
Goal, it was like they really didn't want that goal.
But like, did you hear like just as they were coming off for halftime, they were like, "Here are the boos."
Yeah,
disgrace.
Really bad commentators.
It's pretty unfair. Stephen Warnock's a prick anyway.
Hey, if you heard that, that was Rod. He's the barkeep here. Also, probably I'd call him a good friend of ours. Huge Spurs supporter.
For what it's worth, Stephen Warnock is an ex-Liverpool player and is constantly bitter towards the fact that we let him go fuck Stephen Warnock. But we can carry on.
Let's carry on. Yeah, I think there's a period in the game when I really when I expected Arsenal to have more domination and just a bit more control, but they kind of let it go for Leeds. I want to say it was close to around the 10th minute, but generally they were dominating control. But you're right, like the game ended 50-50%, which is surprising for Arsenal even away from home. But I think what they were really trying to do was disrupt Leeds' rhythm, specifically Aronson. Aronson's been really, really good. He's been so dynamic down that left side. He's been really fast. And there were periods when I was really nervous about that. He was facing up Saliba, and Saliba is a great center back. But I just feel like the kind of pace that Aronson had really made me feel like we needed to have double coverage. And luckily, I think the team also recognized that. They brought Timber to really focus in on covering up Aronson, and as soon as Timber was on top of him, I feel like we kind of snuffed that out, and that was what was the most influential.
I would also argue that a lot of it comes from once Arsenal go 1-0 up. I don't see there being a point really in having your defenders defend one-on-one a bunch.
Yep.
Especially against what is arguably their riskiest playmaker.
Yeah.
So having the cover there, like a +1 back there to help deal with him is probably the more logical approach anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall you handled him pretty well. I mean, looking at his stats, he didn't do a bunch in that game.
No.
So kind of managed well from Arsenal overall.
Yeah, I mean, he went off almost halfway through the second half.
Yeah.
Aronson, he had a 0.01 XA and XG. He had 0 XG.
So you kept him quiet, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really the MO, I think. If you can stop their dangerous players getting on the ball a lot, Leeds, like Anton Stack is pretty underrated as well. I think he's quite good. But overall, if you can stop those creative players getting on the ball regularly, you're walking towards kind of a better result. Or
looking back at it, he had 1 successful dribble. Aronson had 1 successful dribble out of 5. He only had 1 ground duel out of 10, only 1 of 4 aerial duels. So I think Arsenal did a really good job snuffing him out overall. But what I really appreciated was the performance that Zubimendi had after his kind of couple of, honestly, 3 weeks possibly of not performing well.
Yeah.
He gave away that horrible error last week against United. And he had the first goal. He was in the right place at the right time. A really great delivery by Madueke into him, and he kind of just placed it perfectly.
Good header, yeah.
Zubimendi is one of the best in the league and really in the world at aerial duels. He proved it in winning the right kind of duel and getting the header and goal.
That was actually one of those things. I remember when Liverpool were linked to him, it was last summer.
Yeah.
Something that always surprised me about him is looking at I'd like to see his percentile stats for aerial duels, but when I looked at it then, for his height at 5'11", it's actually really impressive and how combative he is.
Yeah.
But kind of jumping on that really, I think if you look at his past 3 games in the Premier League, they've all been not great.
Yeah.
I think Zubimendi as a player, his personal self needed a good performance here, and you got one.
Yeah, that was kind of that first goal, as you mentioned. It helped Arsenal play a bit more open. Second goal came from another set piece. It was actually given as an own goal initially, but as of this morning, they pulled it back and said it was actually a Madueke goal. So Madueke had a cross in. Declan Calvert-Lewin got in the way of the keeper of Darlow, and Darlow punched it into his own net.
I have a question for you, really. Do you like watching set? I mean, so from my perspective, I think we've gone kind of full circle to a degree when it comes to goalkeepers off of corners. I think the way goalkeepers are treated now off of corners is very different to how they were 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
The reason I say that, I don't think there's been any considerable rule changes, but it comes down to teams weren't crowding the 6-yard box like they are now.
Yeah.
I honestly think a bunch of contact on the keeper should be illegal, mainly because, and this is the issue, right? So how are you going to defend these situations? Are you going to go heavily zonal, or are you going to be essentially man to man? And Spurs equalise.
Spurs just equalized.
2-2. Big goal for Tottenham Hotspur. Who scored? Solanke.
Solanke scored again.
2-2.
Brace.
You could see it coming too in these next few minutes. In these last few minutes, they were putting some big pressure on Manchester City. Manchester City crumble under that pressure. 2-2 Tottenham. Last 20 minutes of the game. Big for Solanke too, actually.
Listeners, I'm just watching all of these City fans just kind of look depressed, and it feels good. I'm really enjoying this. Oh, Dortmund also just equalized as well.
It's a good fucking finish. Maybe Donnarumma could do better there, but
yeah.
Well,
what a finish! Oh, scorpion kick!
What a finish! That is crazy.
It was honestly, wow.
Hold on, we have to see that again.
Wow!
Oh my God!
What a finish!
What a goal that is by Dominic Solanke. He kind of scorpion kicks it. It comes in the box. Oh my God! What a goal! 2-2.
Assist by Gallagher. Wow. We got a match. We got a match.
We've got a game. We got a game. So yeah, let's go back to talking about the corner situation. Lots of situations here where the 6-yard box is being really heavily contested, and even before like corners are taken, you see like a huge amount of pressure on goalkeepers. I think something needs to change, man. Like, it makes every corner really, really difficult to defend. You could look at it two ways, right? So like I said, how do you choose to defend those situations? I've seen teams keep three high up the pitch. What that essentially does, I mean, if you remember that Chelsea game at Stamford Bridge against Arsenal,
yeah,
where Chelsea don't flood the box in the same way,
yep,
and they leave three up high to essentially allow their goalkeeper space to come and claim the ball.
Yeah,
I think that's how those situations need to be defended.
Yeah, I think a part of this and a reason why they won't actually change this is there's a demand for more physicality in football, just because of how people want to watch football.
From who, Arteta?
No. Yeah. Like I think like as football, especially like in America, expands, right? People want to see like physicality because people are used to American football, and so I don't think there's going to be a change. But I think what can be done is when you're reviewing with VAR, because every goal gets reviewed by VAR now. If there is a foul on a keeper, you're going to be able to find the foul on the keeper. Yes, that does reduce the amount of space. But Jack, you say this all the time. You have your hands. You're the only person on the pitch who has hands and can use their hands to get away, to get on top of people, get away from people. And so, yeah, I think I'm okay with the scuffles. I'm okay with the fighting for the goal. Like obviously, if you pull back the keeper and if you foul the keeper, yeah, that goal shouldn't go in. But if you are there and you're trying to use your body as an advantage in order to get through, then that's, in my mind, totally fine.
I think my argument is even before corners are being taken, you see two or three guys around the goalkeeper actively making contact with the keeper, trying to stop him moving from his position. I don't like that. I think it's maybe people are calling for more physicality, but it's physicality to the detriment of technique. It's like
it's tactics.
Shit to watch. I think it's bad to watch.
So then what would you prefer? You prefer any cross coming in, the keeper getting to it and knocking it away immediately and less goals?
No, but like actually create set piece routines.
I think that's totally fine. I think there's definitely opportunities for that. But I think corner itself as a set piece routine, if you go short and you can create a routine, that's great. But at the same time, the way the game
all it is putting the ball under the bar and putting a bunch of pressure on the goalkeeper. It's shite.
Yeah,
I mean, it's terrible to watch.
Jack, I agree. And you know, you've asked me this question. We haven't asked this on the podcast. Ben, do you enjoy watching Arsenal right now? I don't really. Are we winning? Yes. The kind of football they're playing, maybe not. But at the same time, like,
my God. Sorry, guys. Simmons almost banged it from the edge of the box.
I will say this. As long as it's something that people are going to do and get away with, it's going to be a part of the game.
So I'll tell you this, right? So like where I don't like watching it, I don't like watching it. Because it's legal for everyone to do, everyone should be doing it.
Absolutely.
It's obviously been shown effective to create dangerous situations from corners. But like my personal view is I would like to see less of it.
Yeah. I think it's just an evolution of the game. The game evolves and how you play it, what kind of tactics you use. I think a lot of people would argue that positional football is really boring to watch and that they prefer not to have positional football. We talked about relational versus positional last week. And so, like, that's just a part of the evolution. Does it work? Yes. Is it going to get you goals? Yes. Do people want to see goals? Yes, because what happens once you get that goal, it opens up the game, and you're going to see a lot more open play.
See, I don't know if it opens up the game. That's the argument. So, like,
after the goal or before the goal?
Definitely after the goal. I don't think it opens up the game. Arsenal used those set-piece goals to essentially rest defense the rest of the game. In fact, it opens the game less when Arsenal are concerned.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. But I think generally what happens is the other team, because they're behind after the goal, they're going to want to score more. And then, actually, let's move on. We have the corner. And then after that, Arsenal actually have a more open game because Leeds is now 2 behind and they want to try to get a goal. And so let's talk about the next goal. We have a great pass from Odegaard, who's been playing horizontally too much and really should be playing a bit more vertical. And because there's more spacing behind, he plays a vertical pass to Martinelli. Martinelli picks it up, cuts it back, crosses in, and then, Gyökeres has a kung fu kick. Not a great touch, but at least a touch that goes in.
It's good.
And so now Arsenal are 3-0 up.
Yeah.
So did the play not open up after that happened?
Debatably, no.
Okay.
Because you concede possession, as you can see by the stats.
Absolutely, we concede possession, but does that mean that the play opens up because we concede more possession?
I think it's debatable.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. We're debating. Usually, Arsenal has most of the possession, and the game is very compact over on the Leeds side, on the defending side. But because Arsenal have now decided, hey, we're 2 up, we have another goal, we can actually push back, and now we can go for goals with more direct play, which is what happened because there's more spacing behind. I would argue that the game did open up and give us 2 more goals after that.
I think, I know what you're kind of alluding to. I know what you mean. The argument that Leeds are going to play very defensively, so the fact that Arsenal can break through with these types of tactics then encourage Leeds to come out more and try and be more offensive.
Yep.
Why can't you just score good goals to do that?
I think we did score good goals to do that.
I mean,
I think the first goal was great.
Goal.
I think the corner wasn't, but you have to take an advantage on a corner. How do you not take your advantage on a corner, Zach?
And that should be the argument, I think.
Like, how do you not take the advantage on the corner? What else do you want to see happen in that corner?
What would be the collect it, please?
Exactly. Goalkeeper comes to collect it.
But he can't.
You play a short corner. Do you want every routine to be a short corner routine?
He's being manhandled by Gyökeres in the box.
That's fine. Do you want a short corner routine every single time, Jack?
Yes.
Every single time?
Yes.
No matter what?
I mean,
short corner routine every single time?
Kinda. If
then what's the point of the corner?
If I have to keep watching that, then please just play it short. It's really bad to watch.
Yeah.
At least for me. I really don't want to see that type
How many goals have Liverpool conceded from corners like that this season?
Loads.
So is this maybe influenced by what you're watching in Liverpool games?
No.
Okay. All right. Anyways, let's move on. Let's agree to disagree. That's fine. We can do that. Some of us have been hurt by more corners than others, and others have been gained an advantage on corners.
Can I mention something? It's not even about being hurt from corners. It's about what I want to watch in terms of football. I don't want situations where keepers are being pinned on their line to where they can't actively come out. And then from my perspective, you can literally see players ass riding the goalkeeper. They cannot move from their line. I don't think that should be allowed. The way I would see it, the way I'd want that to be called, there should be a specific amount of people allowed in that 6-yard box from corners.
Yeah.
That's how I want it to be called. But no, when you can put 8 people in the 6-yard box, and then they need to match you in terms of personnel in there, it then just becomes a huge scramble.
They don't have to match you with personnel. As you said, Chelsea does a really good job in pulling people out. So on an individual team basis, they could do that themselves.
I agree.
But they choose not to use that tactic, as Chelsea does, to use that tactic. And so I think it comes up to team. So if you are going to take an advantage on a corner piece, on a set piece like that, you can do it. You don't have to put someone down on the ground to lay down to block a free kick, as we saw in Liverpool 2 weeks ago. You should nowadays do that. You should get rid of one of your players and have them lay down so that people can't go low. So once again, that's another tactic choice that you make.
I do agree that I think people can approach them tactically better. And as you've seen, when when you don't flood the box like that, those are easier to defend.
Absolutely. You have more space for the keeper. You make a choice to do that. And Arsenal will not put 8 people in the box when Chelsea have people out in the... Exactly. You have to do it. And so, like, it comes on both sides. It's because you choose not to use the tactical advantage that you could have in pulling people away. And so, yeah, unless you have a strict rule, then you kind of like change the entire tactics of the game.
I would say my overarching opinion is it's shit to watch, but it could be defended better.
Absolutely. As I said, do I like watching Arsenal play the kind of football they're playing right now? No. Does it get goals? It does.
It does.
And so tactically, it makes sense. And so though it may be shit to watch, there are reasons that it happens. And so I'm going to say, if until there is something that makes it shit to watch, then like let's keep going. Hey, listeners, Jack and I agree on a lot of things. There's also things that we disagree on. We can have debate. I'm sure that was a little heated on my end. So, you know, that's what football is about. All right, sorry, we paused because
City almost score, ends up going over the bar. To put that to bed, I would say like not always agreeing about things is good. I would say ultimately though, like it's nothing to do with Liverpool. In fact, I wish Liverpool would approach set pieces more like Arsenal do.
Okay.
Liverpool are fucking soft from set pieces.
Yeah.
But like my opinion isn't specifically solely around Liverpool. It's how everyone handles and uses set pieces. I want to see technical brilliance or individual brilliance be part of football. I don't want games that are decided on like narrow, fine margin set pieces to be the decider in all of these games. And more often than not, the way the league has gone, statistically this is backed up, that the league has become more physical and a higher focus on set pieces.
Yeah, I mean, like,
it's cyclical though.
Gordon said that on his interview, right? He said, "What's the difference between like European football and American football? European football and English football?"
Yeah.
And there's a bigger focus on set piece, and that does change how you watch the game. It changes what happens during the game, and sometimes it does ruin the beauty of the game in that there isn't as much happening. For example, like 2 weeks ago when I watched the second half of United versus City, I actually respected the kind of football United played, and I was scared of it.
Yeah.
And they played that same football against Arsenal, and they beat Arsenal, which they haven't done in 3 years because they changed how to play football. And I think like if we can get back into the tactics of how do you break down individual teams, that would be wonderful.
I agree. So like I would say my argument isn't that it shouldn't exist or like you shouldn't do it. That's not my argument. If it's there, you should take advantage of it.
Yeah, you just don't like watching it.
No, I just
Fair.
It's not my favorite.
I don't like watching it either.
Fair, completely reasonable. But like let's go back to like what Martinelli did. Really good ball. He actually takes it past the guy, then crosses it in with his weak foot.
Yep.
Gyökeres gets on the end of it. Really, actually, I think it's a good finish. He's in like a good position.
Yeah.
He anticipates where the ball ends up landing and finishes it to make it. It's 2-0 at that point.
That's 3-0 at that
3-0.
point. Yeah, I thought that was. I like that sequence. It showed a lot more confidence. Especially, I mean, that was in the second half. Madueke came off. Martinelli coming on to the right. Martinelli doesn't play often on the right.
No.
That was largely because Trossard was still on the left. And so, like, I think he did a really good job. He had that pace to get in behind, and I think that was it looked like Arsenal's tactic was put the pace on that right side to get past Sturridge.
I'd say he's pretty two-footed, Martinelli. He's always kind of like had the ability to go both ways, like on the inside and on the outside.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to put him there sometimes if you don't have an option like Saka there or someone who's a bit more direct and more pace.
Yeah. And then the final goal comes from Gabriel Jesus, 86th minute. He comes on for Gyökeres. Gabriel Jesus has the kind of goal that you want to see every striker have. He receives the ball, he stands up, his man, he actually controls the ball and then places it perfectly in the corner of the net and wraps it up 4-0 for Arsenal overall.
My favorite strikers to watch are the strikers that can create their own chance. And he receives the ball with quite a lot to do and creates his own space in the box and finishes it emphatically. Great goal.
Yeah, I think, like as you mentioned, Arsenal does give up the ball a lot more in the second half. 54% to 46% of possession. They also just have fewer passes in the second half, mainly because of that possession, but they still have more shots. They have total XG of 2.01 in the second half. But I think, like, overall, like, where they do dominate is in the duels, both ground duels. They don't do as well in aerial duels in that second half. But
I hope you guys can hear like how nuts or how tense the last like 10 minutes of this game has been.
We are in the 86th minute.
Yeah.
Jack and I are barely looking at our screens and watching this game as we speak about it. Jack, do you want to do lucky or good right now? Should we pause, finish this game, and then get back to it?
Let's do it.
We'll take a quick pause.
We'll be back in a sec, guys. The game just finished. Finished 2-2. Crazy finish to that game, honestly. It's funny, actually, because we decided to record because we didn't think anything was going to happen after halftime. Oh, were we wrong, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I think that just, like, proves football in what happens.
It does.
Like, we thought that game was over and finished. Spurs did not.
No, and that's kind of like, there's a chance the sound isn't the best in that first part. I'm going to keep it in because of, like, for me, it's what football is about. It's an authentic part of football. The way I reacted to that Solanke goal, you can't like, I don't know, I can't fake that. Football is a beautiful sport. It makes us, at least for me, sometimes it can make me the worst person I can be, and sometimes it makes me the best person I can be. And that's what we love about the game.
I would agree with that. A lot of the times it makes me the worst person I can be, to be completely honest with you. I was enjoying that game so much. There was a moment when I was just like looking at all the City fans here who were just like distraught, and it made me feel happy. And then I was like, these people are genuinely sad. I've been this person before.
Oh yeah, but that's part of it, though, isn't it? It's
yeah,
like, not everything's
always
going to go your way.
Yeah,
no, absolutely, and that's a big result for Spurs. I think
huge.
Come back from 2-0 down at halftime against like a team the stature of Man City. But Ben, that puts Arsenal kind of 6 points ahead again.
Yeah, we're 6 points clear. That's another lucky, like, we took advantage of this weekend.
And City come to Anfield next week.
Do us a favor. Do us a favor, Jack.
Could be even more at the end of that. So we'll see how that goes. We've touched on Arsenal. We'll do lucky versus good after, kind of like in bulk of the two games.
Yeah.
But we're going to touch on Liverpool here. Liverpool, this is the best week I've had all season, Ben.
Been a good week for you.
Liverpool scored 10 goals in 2 games.
Yeah.
Especially against a Newcastle team who I thought could give us some like real issues. And they did, really, for part of that game. But let me get into like some of the changes that we have. Obviously, we've got no fit right back, so we put our kind of auxiliary right back in at Szoboszlai, who was imperious, phenomenal on the day. Konate comes back in. Konate calls Slot early last week and basically says, I see you're struggling with injuries. I have to come back. Still obviously dealing with some of the issues with his father. Really ballsy, but like team forward move from Konate, Ben.
Yeah, I think that shows a lot about how much he is willing to take on himself for the team.
Yeah.
A strong leadership movement from him.
I've seen him get a bunch of stick because of his contract situation. Business is business, but to me, that shows the dedication he has for the football team and really comes through in the end, actually, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Newcastle, surprising stuff from Newcastle, I would say. They have a front three of wingers, basically, and you can see really what their intention is to sit deep and hit Liverpool on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
It works, really, for the most part. And the first 30 minutes of the game, Newcastle were excellent, I thought. They really disrupted Liverpool. They stopped any flow of the game happening. I've not seen like the ball in play stats for that part, but it can't be high. A statistic for you lot is Newcastle have 8 corners in that first half. That's the most by a visiting team ever in the Premier League, which goes to show like how they were trying to play the start of that game, but it also shows like a decent control of what Newcastle had in the start of that game, Ben.
Yeah, I think when I was watching that game, it felt odd again to see Newcastle with that much control in the first half,
Yeah.
I would say. From watching Newcastle, I feel like, especially, well, I mean, when they're at home, they do disrupt the game. When they're away, they disrupt the game even more. They want to make sure that they can manage the pace of the game. by stopping the play. This time, I think they did it in a completely different way, and I think it's probably because of those wingers.
Yeah, they managed to find a way to play really directly on the counter, and it works really well for them. And ultimately, it leads to Liverpool not being able to find really any rhythm in that first 30 minutes of the game. I would say, like, Liverpool do a pretty good job at dealing with set pieces in this game. I would say, like, if Newcastle were in a situation where they were actually actively taking advantage of the corners that they had in the first period of that game, they'd have gone 1-0 up earlier. Instead, they go 1-0 up off like a really direct counter-attack. Gordon picks up the ball like basically in the right half space in the box. Emphatic finish, brilliant finish.
Yeah.
Can't really argue against that. And ultimately, I think Newcastle deserve it at that part of the game.
Yeah, I think they were in control. Gordon had a fantastic. I think a part of it was also Newcastle were not defensively set yet in that game. Is what I felt like.
You're right. Yeah.
I felt like they were waiting. They were giving a little too much time. And I remember texting you when that goal happened. I was like, too much time on the ball.
Yes.
And Gordon put the ball exactly where he needed to put it.
Yeah.
At the moment he needed to put it.
I think like the big issue I have with Liverpool in that first 30 minutes is we were making it too easy for them to play through us again. Liverpool defend kind of how you expect them to, like in that 4-2-4 shape. They transition to like a 4-4-2 when they're in a mid-block often. But that 4-2-4 shape, I found we weren't putting enough like adequate pressure on their centre-backs, and they were able to play through midfield quite quickly. And especially like when the whole game was predicated on the fact that they played forward with tempo, they kind of had us in that first 30 minutes. And when they go 1-0, like, honestly, I'll be honest, man, I'm fearing the worst.
Yeah, we've talked about how Liverpool, after they give up the first goal, in many other
struggled
games,
to come back.
Yeah, they struggled to come back. And I was looking at that, I kind of was like, is this going to be another game when they struggle to come back after letting that first goal through?
And there was a situation just after the goal where they get like a really good break where one of their players is brought down like right at the edge of the box, and they do that like Liverpool set piece routine where someone cuts it back slightly to essentially just change the angle of the free kick, and it rattles off the post, and that's a lifeline for Liverpool, man. Like if it goes 2-0 there, it's really tough for us.
Yeah. That looked exactly like the goal that Spazla had over the weekend.
Yeah, it's almost the same, isn't it? Yeah. It's like that heavy, like whipped bottom right type of situation. Rattles off the post, gives Liverpool a lifeline, and Liverpool from that, they almost like that punches them into shape. You know, like okay, fuck, got lucky there. Let's keep moving forward. What ensues from that is absolute filth by Ekitike. Ekitike then is like a very weird footballer for me because he was brought in the summer to ultimately be our main striker, and then we sign Isak. And then you know what everyone will do. They're going to say like, you know, Isak is the starter, Ekitike is the backup. He is pushing for that starting spot more than you can believe, I think.
Yes.
I don't use this term loosely. He looks mercurial. Specific amount of individual brilliance about how he plays football. He is silky. He has kind of like everything in his tool bag. Yeah. He is quick. He is direct. He's very good on the ball. Really good at dribbling with the ball. Can finish. Complete package.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know a lot about Ekitike before. When Liverpool paid that much money for him, I was like, why are we spending this much money for him? My favorite part about Ekitike is that Miranda, my wife, drafted him without knowing who he was or what he meant for Liverpool, and is now kicking my ass in fantasy with him.
That's how it should go. That's any owner of Hugo deserves the world. And to be funny enough, I've been trying to get Hugo from her all season.
This is true,
and she's not been letting me.
She doesn't actually look at the group chat. That's why. But no, I imagine that. Like, I think about what his position is next year when Isak comes back. What do you think it's going to be?
It is a question, isn't it? Yeah. I don't see Liverpool playing with a front two. Mainly because I don't know. I think Liverpool have to, on a slot, like his footballing identity, he wants wingers that can beat people one-on-one. I don't see a situation where we end up playing a front two. I think you might see Ekitike start off the left a lot.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
And that means we don't need to sign like a belter to come off the left.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I would do it, mainly because like if you look at his like heat maps and where he likes to play football, he spends a lot of that time on that left half space anyway.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him there and like partner Isak. I think The thing we have here is we have a potential front three, full rotational front three.
Uh-huh.
A bunch of guys that are good at football enough to play in a bunch of different positions, and you'll be able to see that as they rotate. I'm really excited to see what that can eventually mean for Liverpool, but that means Isak needs to come back and be the best version of himself. But ultimately, what Ekitike does in this game, the goal is Wirtz, in my opinion. This first goal is Florian Wirtz.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When I think of Florian Wirtz, I think of a guy that is incredibly proficient at moving the ball in tight spaces. The thing that was really impressive to me about that first goal is the complete change of tempo once he picks up the ball in the box. He picks up the ball in the box, and he almost like, the only way I could describe it is he slows down the game. He does things so decisively, and he has such good close control that he can beat a couple of men in the box. And as soon as he does, he just needs to make the right decision. And he does, and he cuts it back to Ekitike.
Yeah, he kind of drags those defenders closer to that byline, and then he releases Ekitike to have that space, and he takes a great shot in the bottom left corner.
1-1. And like from that position, I'm thinking, let's push on it. Like we've managed to put Newcastle in a situation where
you're home.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they also feel like, I mean, let's put this into perspective. Last time Newcastle won at Anfield is 1994. They don't have a particularly good record against us. They don't have a good record at St. James Park against us, let alone Anfield. So what I want Liverpool to do there is, you've had a difficult 30 minutes of the game. Put your foot on their fucking throat. You're at home, and they do. Ekitike scores 2 in 2 minutes. The goal he scores
was filthy.
Is pure Fernando Torres, man. He picks up the ball in the channel. The way he runs with it, I would argue that I think Malik Thiaw doesn't do well enough in that situation. I think he needs to put way more pressure on the ball. I think he looks at it like understanding that he doesn't have a particularly great angle to shoot and allows Ekitike to run in a straight line. A mistake, because Ekitike finishes it with the outside of his right foot, puts it into the bottom right. It's 2-1 to Liverpool, 2 in 2 minutes, and this guy is just announcing himself. You could see, actually, like he posted a photo on Instagram after that game, and the amount of world footballers that were glazing him after that, and he deserves it, man. Like the way he is, the way he acts, the way he conducts himself. Obviously, I'm going to say this as a Liverpool fan. He's pure Liverpool, man. I'm very happy that we've managed to get this player, especially when you look in the situation where we have him and Isak as options up front. I don't think there's a team in the world with the same attacking depth as that. Like striker depth, it's crazy. Really excited to see what to see. We go 2-1 up, and I think it goes 2-1 into halftime. And when it goes 2-1 into halftime, I'm really in a situation where I'm kind of happy with how Liverpool play. Something I would say is that Florian Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike have assisted each other 6 times in all comps. That's like 3 assists each, essentially. It's the most by 2 Liverpool players, both in their debut LFC seasons, since John Barnes and Ray Houghton, since 1987, which is like a wild stat. Goes to show how well they're playing with each other, and we've definitely seen that in the last few weeks, especially during the run we've had. Or I have to say had, really, because the run ended last week. But no, coming into the second half, I'm not feeling nervous anymore. I want Liverpool to open up the game and start to dominate. And ultimately, even outside of the goal and outside of the first 30 minutes in that first half, we limit Newcastle to 0.2 XG. Gordon's goal is 0.1 XG, and it's a great finish. But outside of that, they don't really have many shots.
Yeah.
They don't trouble us a lot, regardless of the amount of situations that they create. Going into the second half, I'm really happy. And something that I noticed big in the second half is we give them nothing. They get nothing. They generate 0.1 XG in that second half. They only have 2 shots with 0 on target. Liverpool absolutely run riot in that second half. We go 3-1 up. Beautiful bit of football. Something we do much better in this game, I think, and actually against Karabakh, we counter way better. Decisive moments are decided by good players. And when Mohamed Salah and Florian Wirtz are doing what you expect them to do, they make the right passes and they make the right decisions consistently. Florian Wirtz is the one that moves the ball forward, but Salah gets the ball back, cuts it back, and the finish is absolutely immaculate by Florian Wirtz.
Yeah, I think that entire sequence of play, it seemed like they had that control back, right? Everyone knew where they needed to be. So yeah, it was. You could see that goal coming. You thought it was going to happen earlier in the half. They finished it off well. Verts, I think, has finally kind of found his place.
He's arrived.
The team. Yeah.
What I would say, again, something I noticed in that half is when we need to make subs to kind of change, not so much change, but solidify the game. We don't have an easy way of doing that because of the depth we have. We do make some subs finally on 83rd minute. Jones comes on for Ekitike. Ekitike, when he's walking past those Geordies, by the way, absolutely rips them. I know from some Geordies, firsthand, that they're very unhappy with the way he acted, but fuck him. I don't give a shit. Chiesa comes on for Salah too. Newcastle throw the kitchen sink at it. Like I said, they start with 3 wingers, but Visa comes on for Barnes, Walter Mata comes on for Willock, and Murphy comes on for Elanga. Just looking for more attacking penetration. They don't get it because Liverpool deal with them really well. But in terms of possession in that second half, it's 50-50. So we concede some of the ball, but we're very happy to play on the counter in that half, Ben.
Yeah. I feel like you do give away that possession, or you let that possession go because you knew that they were going to be attacking you. You're already up to 3 goals eventually.
Exactly.
And so, I think you then focus on defending. You are missing some of your key defenders. And so it makes sense. Let it play out and then catch them on the counter.
Goes 4-1. I want to touch on this a little bit. I touched on Konate kind of earlier. Konate comes back from a really difficult moment. And by the way, it's not just that he scores a goal. He has a great fucking game. I think Konate is my man of the match in that game. The way he defended and the way he played. People will give it to Hugo Ekitike.
Yeah, if Ekitike didn't have that brace, Konate would have been the man of the match.
I think Konate defends everything incredibly well. He has a bunch of situations where he has to defend the ball in space as well, which against their type of wingers who can go inside and outside is quite difficult. He defends very well. He plays very well. Coming off of a kind of a difficult season, and honestly, I'm so happy for him. Scores in front of the Kop, last 10 minutes of the game. Sheds a tear as he deserves to, given everything he's gone through this week. And it's kind of poetic justice, Ben. He's had a bad season, or not the season we expect from him. In his pomp, he's one of the best in the world, in my opinion. He's not been that this year. He struggled at times this year. But it's such a heartwarming moment to almost be embraced by the Liverpool fans after that situation. He gets that 4th goal. It comes off of a Nick Pope deals with the situation in the box really poorly. And it bounces to him, and Konate kind of finishes it, goes slow motion past the line, and celebrates. But yeah, that's Liverpool 4-1. Really happy, really, with the turnout of that game. Like I said, when it was 1-0, I kind of feared the worst to a degree. But in that second half, Liverpool run riot. We generate 1.03 XG. We have 9 shots and create 4 big chances. Newcastle have 0 big chances in that game. Well, in the second half, I actually don't think they create a big chance throughout the whole of the game because of how their XG lines up. It's the best week I've had following Liverpool season, Ben.
It's actually, I was looking at the table real quick and I noticed it's funny because Liverpool comes off of 3 draws. They lose last week, they win this week. Arsenal, we come off of 2 draws, lose last week, win this week. And so you kind of maintain where you are in your league position.
Exactly.
United has been having that new manager bounce and coming back. So is Chelsea. But I think that's all going to even out in a few weeks. You're 6th right now on the table. How are you feeling for the rest of the season?
It's tough, isn't it? Like I said to you, really, Liverpool have to make Champions League football. I don't think there's a scenario where I'd be happy with the end of the season if we don't manage to sneak into that top 5. I'm pretty confident that we will. But ultimately what I want to see is I want to see a style of play. Not just a style of play, but I want to see attacking intent from Liverpool. I'm not here for tight games, man. Not at Anfield. I want games like that at Anfield where we get on top of people. It gives something, and Liverpool, as Anfield is a stadium, isn't going to be the type of stadium where they watch side-to-side football and get crazy about it. You give them something to get crazy about. Many players came out after that game, not just Liverpool players, and how loud the atmosphere was yesterday.
Yeah.
And it comes down to, you give us something to scream about and shout about, we will. And I want to see more of that. Near the end of the season, like I said, have to make top 5. But I want to see exciting football, and we saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you want to do lucky versus good?
Yeah, let's do lucky versus good.
Let's start lucky versus good with Arsenal, I think.
Okay.
So first goal, Ben. I think it's just good. Good cross into the box. Really good header by Zubimendi.
I think it was almost something that we were expecting, honestly, like in the way that Arsenal was playing. It was coming technically off a set piece. I thought it was great delivery by Madueke.
It was like the second delivery though from the set piece.
Yeah, second delivery from the set piece. We won the ball back, and I think you see this over and over again off of set pieces nowadays, where if the team attacking the set piece gets the ball, they just kind of do another.
Just recycle it.
Yeah, just recycle it.
Yeah.
Came back in, everyone's set. Zubimendi had a fantastic. Yeah, let's do pills. Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah.
Go on then, Rodney. Twist my arm. Yeah. Let's do that. Cheers, man.
Yeah, I like that goal. It was a good goal. It was redemption for Zubimendi, really.
I don't know. From my perspective, like I said, even from the corners, Arsenal create their own chaos consistently, and I think if you've seen that as a trend, you can't call it lucky anymore. It's not lucky. It's good.
Yeah.
So that's a good one for me.
Next, Madueke. I'm gonna call it lucky, man.
Me too.
Like, it was as we talked about. Like, you blocked out your keeper. The keeper somehow accidentally punches it into the own goal.
Yeah.
As we said, yesterday it was an own goal. Today it was attributed to Madueke.
That's how that works, though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, though, like you create enough chaos. Thank you, Rod.
Thanks, Rod.
We pulled that out of the bag.
I don't know.
We could have won that game in the end.
Definitely.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
So Xavi Simons looked good today, mate. I really like that fucking kid.
He's a good footballer, man.
Yeah. Look, Modric, when he came to Tottenham, was shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Took him a year or
People are
two.
so quick to judge nowadays, mate.
Definitely.
I'm like, God, if he had some real talent around him, holy.
I agree. I mean, you saw it in the first half. Like he doesn't have anyone to play off of at the moment. I think once you get guys like Madison back, like other people that can be on the same wavelength.
Oh yeah. But oh god, oi! Sorry, y'all. That was we're doing a little Odegaard chant.
Number 2 is lucky. But again, you flood the box in that same way, you're gonna end up getting situations like that. So first one good.
Second one lucky.
I think 3
Third.
is pure good.
So good.
The pass to Martinelli is exquisite.
We talked about this earlier. Like we want Odegaard to play those. We know he can. He plays it really well into Martinelli. Martinelli has a great little cutback, gets it away from the defender.
Yeah.
And weak foot over in.
But what it comes down to is Arsenal having a lead.
Yeah.
Like you said, Leeds having to come out, play a bit more, gives them more space vertically. And once Arsenal have space, we've seen it time and time again, they'll punish people.
Yeah.
Bunch of space in behind, bunch of pace in behind, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Martinelli picks up the ball on that right side, delivers it with his weak foot. Really good goal. I think Gyökeres's finish is good because he anticipates where the ball goes and beats the defender to that spot.
Yeah.
That's a good goal for me.
I think a lot of the times when you watch those kind of goals, you want like the striker to put his foot on the ball.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like, and people call it the kung fu kick, but like he just knows he gets the body in. Mm-hmm. We talk about that 0.78 XG against Kairat where he just skies it. This time it bounces on him and it goes in, and he was in the right place, right time. He was not on his back foot for once. He was probably ahead of the ball this time.
Yeah, he was, actually.
Right? And so, like that, good goal.
Number 4, I think has to be good goal. I think this is the best goal of the day.
It's really funny. While this game was going, I was watching At the Bluefoot, and I like glanced down at my phone for a quick second, and then I hear cheers, and I look up, and the ball's in the net. I'm like, wait, how did that go in?
So this goal is 0.08 XG and XG on target of 0.5. He completely turns nothing into something. Absolutely amazing goal. But like, we know how good Gabriel Jesus is playing the ball in tight spaces. Yeah. And that is that quintessential type of finish. Like, holds the ball up, finds a little bit of room, and executes.
It's very much a striker's goal. He's the target man. He defends the ball against the person marking him.
Yeah.
He does a little like drag back to like move the keeper off his line and like shift him over a little bit, and he just nails it in that corner.
Actually, a crazy stat. That Gyökeres goal starts as a 0.4 XG chance, and XG on target is 0.18.
Jeez.
Because he hits it quite centrally, but the keeper kind of dives in a weird way to send it past him. But my argument, though, is if you like actively if you can finish it like first time there,
Yeah.
you just need to kind of get it on target. He's
Yeah.
so close to the goal. I still think it's a good goal. I don't give a shit.
It is a great goal. Jesus is a great goal. I want Jesus to score in every single Arsenal game because anytime Jesus has scored a goal in the Premier League, the team he's played for, including City, has not lost. It's been either a draw or a win.
It's kind of crazy.
It's a wild
stat, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite stats in football right now.
So those are the 4 goals for Arsenal. We've got pretty much good across the whole of the board, apart from that Madueke goal.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with that. I think Arsenal, people will call the kind of set piece goals lucky. I'll say it again. If you can continue to do that every single time, it's no longer luck and it's actually forced.
And I think for that Madueke goal, right? Like, there's no Arsenal player by it. It just bounced. It had a lucky bounce on the goal, right?
Yeah.
It could happen to anyone else.
Keeper doesn't deal with it very well.
Exactly.
But like that's what we say. If your keeper's pinned on the line and they can't move, situations like that are going to be created. You know?
Liverpool and Newcastle. Let's get into the goals.
So Ekitike's first goal.
We're missing the first goal of the match.
Oh yeah, Gordon. Fuck Newcastle, man. So actually, Anthony Gordon receives the ball at like kind of the right half space of the box. He has a lot to do still. I would say XG of that is 0.13, and XG on target is 0.550. So he create something out of nothing ultimately. Insane finish, I think.
It was wild because like you expect Gordon to come up on the left side.
Yeah.
Because Barnes is on the right side. He creates that space, comes in, and like it was in a period when like I felt like Liverpool were not defensively strong.
No.
But he puts the ball in the exact place it needed to be to make that goal.
It's funny actually because like from my perspective, I thought that goal was a little bit against the run of play. I think past 30, we started getting more control in the game. But it goes to show, like, they start with that, like, those three wingers, and they counterattack. We've seen how they counterattack. It's so direct. Like, they were playing Elanga, Gordon, Barnes, like, 3 fucking rapid players, and it pays dividends. That's just a good goal for me, Ben.
Yeah, it was a good goal.
Really good finish. Puts them 1-0 up. To go 1-1, Hugo Ekitike's goal. So, Wirtz, like I said, finds some space in the box, takes it past, like, 3 or 4 players, ultimately slows the game down. Small cut back to Hugo Ekitike. XG on that is 0.27, and the XG on target is 0.29. Kind of finishes, he's on the left side of the box there, but finishes kind of somewhat low to that left side. That's just a good goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It was one of those goals where the assist was better. He kind of drags everyone off the goal. He passes it back. Ekitike puts it near post. I think Pope was probably expecting to go far post.
Yes. I agree.
It kind of looked like that.
Kind of hit it like almost with the side of his foot into the far post, but he hits it kind of almost across himself into the bottom left. Fucking sick finish. Puts us 1-1. That second goal, in my opinion, it's tough, isn't it? 'Cause I don't know if that second goal is the best goal of the day, but it's up there, man. Like I said, I think Malik Chiao doesn't mind him running in a straight line because he can't cut onto his strong foot.
Yeah.
But Hugo Ekitike doesn't give a fuck. He hits it with the outside of his boot. XG on that is 0.11. XG on target is 0.85.
That goal was so calm.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of like it was a very calm goal. Like he knew exactly what he was going to do. He had the space. He had the time. It kind of annoyed me how calm he was on that goal.
Just
good goal.
Definite good goal. 1 good goal, 2 good goal. Actually, first 3 goals in this game are all good goals. The fourth doesn't change it for me. I think Florian Wirtz puts that ball in the only place he could probably put that ball to beat Nick Pope from there. And listen to this. The XG is 0.22. XG on target is 0.92.
And here's the thing, like I would say Ekitike's goal was the best goal of the game if Florian Wirtz had not put this third goal in for
and
Liverpool.
You can see it's like it is legitimately perfect shooting technique.
Yeah.
Like he waits for it, he brings the ball across, like he's super upright when he hits the ball and just hits it across himself. Yeah. It slides essentially into the side netting. It's a ridiculous finish.
Yep.
And then goal 4, I'm gonna call that a bit lucky. For Ibu Konate, and the only reason I call that lucky is because it kind of he absolutely fucks it up, Nick Pope. I think Nick Pope
Yeah.
makes a pretty considerable mistake there. I would say, though, the goal is 0.14 XG. XG on target is 0.72. So he finishes it in a decent way. But I think that what leads up to that goal makes me think it's lucky.
Yeah, I think the ball is kind of bobbled around in the penalty area. Konate's in the right place, right time. He kind of puts it through and swipes at the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And if Nick Pope was a little bit more to the left, he probably would have gotten it. It almost seems like he like stutter steps to getting to the ball because he thinks the defender's going to get to it.
There is definite hesitation there. And I think that's what causes the problem for him. But Liverpool end up winning that game 4-1. Like I said, it's the best week I've had supporting Liverpool this season. That's kind of everything from us today, guys.
Yeah.
We'll be back kind of later in this coming week to preview Arsenal, Sunderland, and Liverpool, Manchester City. We might pick another game for you as well as a bit of a surprise, but we're going to do that. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. A little bit more of a kind of like a raw one today, where we're actually watching some football at the same time, and you get Rodney coming in, talking to us, but hope you guys have enjoyed it. Peace out.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers, guys.